United Airlines, an airline many people have a love-hate relationship with. Many associate United with glamorous Polaris Business Class and long-haul flights with new partners such as Emirates. However, the airline has a storied history dating back almost 100 years. However, many people love to hate on United. A string of recent aircraft incidents, flight attendant strikes, and just a search on the internet will find numerous videos on why they're hated. Well, today I'm giving them a test, flying United Airlines economy on a standard domestic flight from Detroit to Washington, Dulles. Enjoy the video. Hey, what's up? Good morning. I'm Caleb from Caleb's Aviation. Welcome back to the Caleb's Aviation YouTube channel. Today I'm doing something very special. Today I will be flying all the way out with United Airlines, my very first time with United, off to Washington, Dulles from here in Detroit to catch a very special flight, but more about that in a little bit. However, it's only about 5:45 in the morning. My plane is boarding soon, and I'll catch up with you there. Here we go. United used the newer of two terminals here at Detroit Metro Airport. This is what's known as the Evans Terminal, formerly known as the North Terminal. This terminal was pretty large, but pretty empty at this early morning hour, only about 5 in the morning Eastern Standard Time. But pretty soon I arrived at my gate. I found my 737-800, November 38257, built in 2000. This aircraft would take the cake for being the oldest 737 I've ever flown on, even beating out Southwest Airlines. But pretty soon it was time to board the aircraft and go down this very long jet bridge, with lots of fun ads for future flights on United. It means I should definitely save those miles for Hawaii. There's Hawaii. Unfortunately, at such an early hour, the crew for this flight wasn't quite ready to go yet. So I had the unfun practice of boarding, but not really boarding, where you go down the jet bridge and wait. Alright, we're off, here we come. Washington, Dulles, next stop.
Hello. Good morning, how are you?
Once on board, I was met with United's brand new domestic first class cabin. Now this looks pretty good, and for a US carrier, I was very impressed. Unfortunately, I wouldn't be sitting here. I would be sitting in the normal economy, use economy plus for an extra comparison, and then my seat in standard economy. Next to me I managed to spot this 737 MAX 9, which was pretty cool, heading out to Houston. I might fly that someday. But now back to my seat. The IFE on the new economy class is all new, with Viasat Wi-Fi, and lots of movie options on this new system. Sorry about the footage here, by the way. I also like how it has what to expect on the flight. That's always a nice touch. And it has lots of different things in the entertainment, as I mentioned. But we'll look at that more once we're in the air. I was happy to hear from the flight deck, as they'd turned on Channel 9 as it's known, which is always super cool for me. In addition to this great entertainment system, this older aircraft also featured overhead air vents, which are always a nice touch that many newer aircraft skip out on. I still don't know why. It also had lights, which were functional and very bright. Surprising for an aircraft this old, I was actually pretty impressed. There was also a tray table in this refreshed seat, because this is a new cabin, which featured a safety card from this 737. Same type as the 737-900, by the way. I'm on the 737-800 today. I made sure to take a careful read of this, as safety is very important. And then pretty soon, we got ready to push back, ready to go. On our way out to the runway this morning, I spotted this Southwest 737-700 heading off to Baltimore. Make sure to check out my video flying Southwest, as I flew that aircraft and that route to Baltimore. It was pretty cool and linked up above. But pretty soon we began our takeoff roll down the runway, heading to Washington, Dulles. Let's go. I took this flight to Washington, Dulles for my next flight on the 747-400 of Lufthansa, and of course, that video is coming out very soon as well. Pretty soon we made our turn heading east, back around on ourselves, bound for Washington, Dulles, and I settled in for this short flight. United provided complimentary earbuds to passengers in economy. However, these were worthless, worse than nothing. We were provided with complimentary snacks on this early morning flight, and both were okay, but not something I'd pick on the ground, which is always the case. There were lots of choices on the IFE as I mentioned, even brand new movies, which was cool. However, the headphones were pretty worthless as I mentioned. Here would be our route for today flying out to Washington Dulles. Pretty simple today, topping out at 29,000 feet and 485 knots of speed. This flight would take us only about 1 hour and 35 minutes, flying in pretty crappy weather. Pretty soon we began our landing into the Washington Dulles area, passing over several small areas and some highways. It was quite cloudy today, and the weather was not playing ball. I would have appreciated no clouds and maybe a nice sunrise, but I was too early and the weather was too crappy. Also, for those of you who are interested, I have linked the full edit-free takeoff and landing video from this flight in the upper right-hand corner or in the description. That way you nerds who want to see the whole landing with full sound can do so. Landing at Washington Dulles was quite good. The flight with United Airlines was pretty good, and I was pretty happy with them today. However, this was just the beginning of my long saga. I spotted the iconic Washington Dulles Air Traffic Control Tower, sadly now rotting away, and a UPS MD-11 freighter. There was also this Avianca A320 parked next to us. Once I got off the plane and out of the airport, I headed to the National Air and Space Museum here at Dulles, one of my favorite places in the area, to kill a little bit of time. The aircraft on display here are quite extensive and really cool. I've made a full video about this entire place, highlighting many of these aircraft, including the Concorde and that SR-71 you saw earlier. I'll leave the links to the full video in the upper right hand corner right now. I also met a couple new friends and walked around the space shuttle, which is always a cool sight here, to see an actual space shuttle. While I was here, I wanted to go up to the observation area, which is a model of what an air traffic control tower looks like from the inside. It has several things on display of how air traffic control works, and it's a great place for spotting, as I highlighted in that Best Places for Plane Spotting video. However, there are several things here to note. On the day I visited, it was undergoing renovation, so it was closed. Additionally, when there's bad weather or lightning, sometimes they close it for safety purposes. Also, yes, I know this is old footage, but as I mentioned, when I was here the weather was too terrible to see anything. Additionally, here's some footage of the Boeing 747-800 of Lufthansa landing into Washington Dulles from that visit to the museum. I'll be flying on the older 747-400 upstairs in business class out of Washington Dulles Airport. However, I have no footage of it, so I figured this would do nicely. Coming soon is that trip on the 747-400, and returning back to the US also on the 747-8, so keep an eye out on my channel for those. However, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this trip on United Airlines. Check out those videos for plane spotting, as well as the video all about the museum. And you know the drill, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, I'll be wishing you blue skies and tailwinds.